You guys, we have got to talk about the Love Island reunion because there was so much drama that went down before the reunion even aired. And when the reunion finally did air, we saw a lot go down, especially between Huda, Shelly, and Olandria. And we are going to get into everything that happened in the reunion and before. It's been a crazy past 48 hours in the Love Island world as Iris and Pepe have unfollowed each other on social media, and a post has been going around accusing him of possibly cheating on Iris, hooking up with a woman in a hotel lobby. Who knows if it's totally true, but it's what's been circulating around since this weekend. But the next day, Amaya and Brian unfollowed each other, and she was reposting a ton of sad posts like POV, the silence after accepting, when I finally pick myself back up and never let my walls down like that again, how it feels when you know you have to leave him alone. So there was so much going down before we even saw the reunion itself. Also leading up to the reunion, we already knew tensions were high because Olandria and Shelly had already unfollowed Huda, and last week, Teen Vogue posted a video with some of the Islanders, and based on their outfits, everyone was able to figure out that they filmed that interview the day after Huda's Call Her Daddy interview came out, where she said that she felt bullied by people in the villa. Shelly and Olandria both unfollowed her the next day, which would be the day that this interview was recorded, and all the comments were talking about the tension. Hours before the reunion, Vanity Fair published an interview recorded the same day as the Teen Vogue interview, and it was also extremely awkward, especially when Huda was asked if she was nervous to see anyone at the reunion, and she said no. Then Ace chimed in to say that he didn't like how some people didn't stand on business in the villa, but outside of the villa got the courage to say some things, which some felt Huda was taking this as him calling her out for saying what she did on Call Her Daddy.
I just hate the fact that, nobody was standing on business while we was all there. And now that, people are outside the villa, now they feel like they have the confidence to talk. And for me, that's scary, in my opinion. I don't see that as standing on business.
Wait, what?
I feel like outside the villa, for people to feel like they can stand on business now, and then being back at the villa, nobody was standing on business, so.
I was.
Can you give an example?
Don't worry, we got the reunion, since everybody feels confident there.
Everything I said in the villa, just wasn't shown on TV.
Understood.
There was also a moment where Olandria was talking about the challenge where they were ranking each other, and she says America was wrong for ranking Shelly last in almost everything. Now, during the challenge, the Islanders had to guess where America would rank them, and Shelly explained why she had ranked herself higher than America's results, saying that they placed themselves where they were because they decided as a group who should be where, which people peeped that Huda didn't seem to agree with this statement based on her facial expressions.
When we did the placements in the first place, it was an agreement through the villa of who was placed where. So it wasn't like, oh, I'm just gonna stay here. It was like, no, we agree you should be there, et cetera, et cetera. So the difference between what we were agreeing versus America, I mean, now as we've come out the villa, we see that things that are being shown was not what we experienced.
I did find it interesting Ace said that he said Amaya should be ranked #1 because in the actual episode they showed, Ace was saying that he was shocked when Amaya was #1. So I don't know if it was just them editing it to make it seem like he said that comment in that moment towards Amaya, because now he's saying that he was saying she should be #1.
Even when I would ask them, the people who would put me last, can you please name an example of a time where it was never stated? So I think it was just a messy, weird.
My parlay was on Amaya being one. Let me make that clear. Before. Did I not?
Yeah, you got that.
No.
But as for the actual reunion, guys, it was shot a couple weeks ago, but everyone wanted to know what it was about to reveal to us, and it was a show. First of all, nobody is boyfriend-girlfriend yet. Iris and Pepe were super awkward answering questions about their relationship status, and now we see they aren't together. Brian addressed being in the club and pouring shots in girls' mouths, saying it was a lapse of judgment, and as we now know, him and Amaya are no longer together. Ace at one point called out Amaya for making fun of his height alongside Alex Cooper when she was doing promo for her Call Her Daddy episode. Amaya says that her team tried to get the video taken down, but Ace felt it was bullying.
What are you doing down there?
Ace was just so pressed about it. But as for Jeremiah and Ace, well, Jeremiah wanted to defend himself, saying that he was not a love bomber, and Ace tried to defend that he wasn't some ringleader of the villa, calling all the shots. And they did end up playing a clip from the night that Jeremiah went home, and Nick was defending why Jeremiah should possibly stay, saying that what he has with Andreina, we don't know if he's going to be as toxic as he was with Huda, kind of advocating for him to stay. over Austin because Austin had no connection, but ultimately Taylor and Ace wanted to send Jeremiah home, so Nick was outnumbered, which Jeremiah did say that he appreciated that Nick was advocating for him. Now, Ace called Jeremiah out for also apparently talking about money and followers while on the show and just felt like he wasn't there for the right reasons. They also played the girls deciding to send Hannah home, and it seemed Shelly was saying that she connected so quickly with Charlie and then she connected quickly with Pepe, and Iris and Amaya deserved a chance to find love. They all ended up voting Hannah, which they did show who America voted for, and Hannah and Jeremiah received the least amount of votes, so if it was up to America, they would have both still gone home this night as well. Now, there was also some drama between Olandria, Shelly, and Coco and Vanna after Olandria vocalized that she was upset some people fed into certain narratives that weren't true, calling out Coco for going on a podcast and seemingly feeding this narrative that Olandria was all my man about Taylor when he wasn't interested in her. And she didn't like this narrative that she was clinging on to a man that was uninterested, saying the things that he was actually saying to her in real life were very different than the things that they were showing on the show of him talking to other people about. And if she knew how he was really talking about her, she never would have pursued him still. And so she was just upset that Coco was feeding into this narrative that Olandria was obsessed with this man that didn't really like her.
Olandria was like really like, my man. And it was like,
even to a point of delusion, I would say.
Yeah. I was just like blown. I just couldn't even understand it. I couldn't even understand. I couldn't even.
Coco tried to say that wasn't what she was doing, but anyway, Vanna ended up getting called out at the same time for going on Vile Files and feeding into a negative mean girl narrative for some of the girls for what she said.
But I love Huda, and she was one of the only girls. Some of the girls in the villa I didn't even meet because they didn't want to like talk to me or like really approach me because like Casa girl, you know. But Huda was one that really approached me and like looked at me, wanted to get to know me, and talked about like meeting me on the outside. She was really, really nice.
Huda and Chris also faced each other, with Huda saying it was fine, but Chris said that it was weird to see each other. He was also asked about his mom's feelings towards Huda, and he said she was happy with the way things turned out, aka them not being together. Huda was later asked about her relationship status, as she's been spotted out with Louis from Perfect Match. She's posted this on her Instagram story. He's also posted pictures of her holding his face. They've been on stream together, they've done a red carpet together, but when she was asked about what's going on at the reunion, she said she was legally not allowed to talk about it. She said, it's Netflix, I'm not allowed to talk about it, I can't speak about my relationships. And I'm guessing because Louis was on this past season of Perfect Match, she wasn't able to talk about it, but still people were like, well, you're still in public together, so it's interesting that you can't talk about it at all. Ace and Shelly seemed super thrown. Their facial reactions were shocked that she was even dating anyone. But when it comes to Shelly, Huda, and Olandria, there was a lot of talk about Huda's Call Her Daddy interview, which that interview aired, and the next day, like I said earlier, Olandria and Shelly unfollowed Huda. During the interview, she said that she was bullied on the show. Olandria and Shelly expressed during the reunion that they did not know where this came from because they were all good in the villa, so for Huda to come out of the show and go on Call Her Daddy and say that she was bullied, it drove more hate towards them and fed into this mean girl narrative that they say is just not true and super uncalled for, and so they chose to unfollow Huda because they felt like that interview just drove more hate to them. Huda explained that when she came out of the villa, she saw clips of her that made her feel like she was being bullied in the villa. Like a clip where Sierra, Shelly, Olandria, Ace, Taylor, and Nick were all talking about Huda, and Huda was being silly, posing for them across the way, being funny, when in reality they were actually talking negatively about her and the whole Iris and Jeremiah situation. More was addressed on the reunion between Shelly and Huda, and they even played the full heart rate challenge so we could see for ourselves if Huda really did too much or if Shelly was overreacting. Huda admitted she did too much as she licked Ace from his D up and then shook her butt in his face when Chris and Shelly were done. Some online are saying Ace should be at fault too, since he seemed to be into it, pulling her butt closer to his face. I don't know, the whole thing, it's just a mess here. But she did feel like she did too much and she apologized for that. I will say they also showed footage of Huda going to Shelly and telling her that she is going to pick Chris and that she's doing it for both of them because he's interested in both of them. After they played the clip, Shelly felt like it still wasn't the whole conversation, but Huda was standing by the fact that she told Shelly ahead of time that she was going to be picking Chris and that it was something that she was doing for the both of them. Now, things really went down at the end of the reunion when Shelly and Olandria talk about feeling hurt getting out of the villa and seeing a ton of racist hate posts made towards them, and how they told Huda to make a post to tell her fans to not bully them. She didn't end up making the post, and Olandria says that that was the reason why she ended up unfollowing Huda. And when asked why she didn't make the post, she said, I was dealing with so much of that, like I wanted to address more than just that because I was dealing with so much. I didn't know what to say in that moment. Ultimately, Olandria just said she was so hurt that Huda didn't come out and make a post telling her fans to back down, but instead was on the Call Her Daddy podcast feeding into this Shelly and Olandria are bullies narrative that was getting them a lot of hate. Now, following the reunion, you guys, I will say Huda had some choice words for some of the questions that she was asked, specifically about her relationship, saying that she was uncomfortable by it. She posted this on her TikTok story saying, I prefer to share details about my relationship on my own terms, not for a TV show it has nothing to do with. Repeated pressure to open up, especially when it's excessive, makes me uncomfortable, and I'd appreciate if that could be respected. But you'll edit out the amount of times you asked and tried making others answer for me. So clearly she was pretty bothered that she was asked about her love life. I will say, I mean, she was on a dating show. People are going to ask, especially since she's been out in public with Louis, about seeing someone, but she said she couldn't talk and was uncomfortable by the questions. But that's some of the drama that went down at the reunion. It was pretty crazy to see everyone get together and discuss a lot that has gone down, especially outside of the villa. I did feel like if you didn't watch any of the podcasts that some of these people have been on, then you might be super confused as to what the heck they were talking about, because they weren't even naming a lot of the podcasts. They were just like, you went on your podcast and said this and this, and it's like, wait, what was said? Like, if you weren't there watching it in real time, you might have been so confused why everyone was so mad at each other. But I want to know what you guys think about everything that was said at the reunion. Let me know all of your thoughts. I love you guys so much, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye, guys.